In this section the following subjects will be covered. This section will cover the fault handling and troubleshooting. DC Scissors products display active fault codes on the digital LED displays on the ECU and on the platform control box. Fault conditions that will cause an active fault are defined in this section. Fault types have been grouped together where they have similar causes. The type of faults covered are switch and joystick faults, ECU communication faults, limit switches and tilt level sensor faults, and coil faults. When a fault condition occurs that can be detected by the ECU, a 2-digit fault code will be displayed in the LED window on the platform control box and on the ECU. A brief description of the fault can be found on decals located on the front of the platform control box mounting bracket and below the LED display near the base control panel. The spreadsheet is the fault code chart taken from the service manual. Notice that the chart from the manual shows not only the fault condition, but a possible cause and solution. The following slides will give some insight as to how the ECU detects faults and some pointers for diagnosing the cause of these faults. The first group of faults we will address are switch and joystick faults. These are among the most common faults seen on these machines as they are often caused by the operator when not operating the machine correctly. For safety reasons, the ECU faults if one of the buttons is closed or the joystick is out of neutral when the control system is powered on. This is to ensure that there is no unintended movement of the machine if a button or the joystick is damaged or stuck. Be aware that the ECU performs a self-test when it is powered on. If a button is depressed or the joystick is deflected before the LED display shows normal operation, a switch or joystick fault will occur. To recover from this situation, simply cycle the emergency stop button and be sure not to operate the controls until a normal operation is displayed. This is typically a period of about a second to a second and a half after power up. If the fault is not cleared, troubleshoot the switch or the joystick according to the joystick voltages chart in the electrical section of the service manual. Coil faults are all grouped together because the fault conditions are exactly the same. A specific coil fault is only displayed when that particular function is selected. The ECU monitors the amperage on all of the coil circuits and detects open circuits when there is no amperage and recognizes short circuits by high amperage. A coil fault is not specific. It could mean that the circuit is either open or shorted. A hint to help you determine which direction to take is to cycle power and watch the LED display as you activate the function that causes the fault. If the fault code comes up immediately, the circuit is open. If the circuit is shorted, the code won't display until about a half a second after the function is selected. For open circuits, inspect all of the connections from the AMP plug on the ECU to the Deutsch plug on the coil, and the battery negative bus block for all of the coils. Refer to the service manual for the specific coil resistance. Keep in mind that these coils have internal suppression diodes. There is also a procedure in the service manual for testing these diodes.